The 833rd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit match.
Howdy ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 833 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Rahul, one of our friends on the old YouTube, who says we're doing an amazing job, which is true. We are amazing. Thanks for coming to the show. I am, what's my name again? Supremo Simplicio, Jeff Fox. Beside me, Daniel Gumby Reeland, virtually beside me. We're headed to Korea for this episode. RIZIN in Korea. RIZIN's doing World Series thing, I think they're calling it, something like that. And yeah, they have a big card in World Series in Korea. It says a big card in Korea on this coming Saturday. We're going to break it down as we like to do. There's 9 MMA bouts. We're going to give you a full breakdown on half of them, more than half, on 5 out of 9. And then we shall have a lightning round at the end, where my co-host gives you his lightning round picks, little quick hitters. They hit, though. You're going to win money on them. All right, Mr. Gumby, how are things? Thoughts on the card? All that stuff.
Kind of fun in terms of having some of the bigger names, right? Like I like cards that have Johnny Case on them, or Roberto de Souza, who's fun to watch. And then I would say my only issue maybe with the card is like a smattering of squash matches for Korean fighters since they're in Korea.
Yeah,
like maybe not the best matchmaking in the world out of RIZIN here, but they brought a couple of stars and then loaded up with Korean guys who can pick up wins.
Yep. Why is the main event not for the belt that Mr. De Souza is holding?
Oh, he is holding the belt.
Yeah, he's a lightweight champ.
I didn't even think about
lightweight
that.
belt. It's just a feature belt with with a Korean guy, I guess.
I don't know what they're doing with that. Maybe this is technically RIZIN in Korea. It's like a different promotion, like PFL has.
Please.
Yeah, PFL's got a whole bunch of different promotions.
They can put whatever more.
And they can start whatever, they can put whatever belt they want on the line at whatever time. And it's definitely not a Bellator belt anymore. So don't even worry about that.
Do they just do that so they can go, this is a new thing. We need you to invest more money in this,
probably, right? I'm pretty sure that's
it.
Well, and like they're, this is definitely not a PFL episode. And I want to talk about PFL as little as possible these days, especially now that they don't have Patchy Mix. But I think they're doing it as like, if they put their hand in all of those different honeypots, they feel like they're succeeding. And it looks like to investors that they're succeeding, whether they're succeeding or not.
You know what hangs out in honeypots, though, sometimes? A whole bunch of bees. Yeah.
And I'm allergic, so that's...
oh, even better. I mean, even worse. Lucky. Don't work for PFL. All right. Hopefully Don Davis is not allergic to bees. All right. Before, I thought I'd never would say that ever on an episode. There you go. Before we dive into the event in Korea, a reminder, our merch store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, is running a promo, 20% off everything if you use a code DEGENS, DEGENS. So get all your MMA Gambling Podcast merch there and our new line of DEGENS gear. So check it out, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. All right, Seoul, South Korea is where we're going on Saturday. It is. I looked it up, Gumby. They actually have it on their Facebook. It says it is starting at it would be 7 Eastern time on Saturday. No, it's 10 p.m. It's actually 10 p.m. Here we go again, Gumby.
I thought you looked it up.
I did look it up. It's starting Saturday night. It says 10 p.m. Pacific time, so that would be 1 a.m. Eastern time, Sunday morning / Saturday night is when it's happening for us people on the East Coast. All right, makes sense. And we are, as I said, 9 fights in the card, 9 MMA fights in the card. We got a couple of kickboxing belts as well. We're going to cover 5 of the 9, and then we're going to give you some bonus plays at the end. It's internet pay-per-view. As I said, about 1 a.m. Eastern on Saturday night / Sunday morning. It's taking place in Paradise City in Seoul, South Korea. Let's get into it now, shall we? We are starting off with a bout at, once I get up to the right part of the page, it is 134. So basically bantamweight bout. Yong Yang from South Korea, Yuto Hokamura from Japan. Let's tell you, we have no odds yet, but they should be dropping within the next couple of days. RIZIN odds are fairly easy to find. Hokamura also goes by Quintero as his name, like a Brazilian. He goes by his nickname. 15, 14, and 2. 9 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 5 times, submitted 5 times. 3-6 in RIZIN. He's 1-5 over his last 6, 3-7 over his last 10. TKO loss in his last bout. Used fight at 145. 2011 pro MMA debut. Gumby warned you there's some squash matches on this card. Some Koreans are getting set up with some wins here. Yang is 9-3 with 1 no contest, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. Been knocked out once, submitted once, 2-1 in RIZIN, 1-2 with 1 no contest over his last 4, 4-3 with 1 no contest over his last 8. TKO loss in his last bout. Used to fight at 145, 3 years younger than Hokamura, an inch taller, 4 inches of reach.
Yeah, I think Yang's going to be like negative 300. If he's south of that, I'd steam that right up. Yeah, like he should win this one pretty easily. Kintaro, he's seen better days. You mentioned 3-7 in his last 10, 1-5 in his last 6. He's not exactly on a good roll, and it's because it doesn't sound like he's all that old, but like you said, he made his MMA debut in 2011. He's been a pro for almost 15 years now, and you can kind of see the wear and tear on him. He's like slower. He kind of plods forward now at this stage in his career, which he used to be lighter on his feet, but like he's really plodding now. And it makes him like, super easy to hit. It's not like he's a plotter who has like great grappling to fall back onto. Like he kind of wants to let his hands go, and like it's sort of just not there anymore. And Yang, on the other hand, just like lightning quick kicks. When he throws to the calf, really brutal. He's got pretty good hands too. I like the kicks better than the hands, but he's got pretty fast hands and pretty sharp boxing as well. He's a little bit, if I had to, launch a criticism of Yang, which I don't, but I will. If I had to launch a criticism of Yang, it was pretty much this, that like when he finds success on the feet, occasionally he gets sloppy looking to finish. So like he'll hit you with a hook, get you to wobble a little bit. And then it's like, instead of like the Chris hooks that were there that nailed you, instead he's like throwing absolutely wild all over the place. So I think Yang probably going to knock out Hokamura here. Kintaro, like I said, is just too plodding, too slow. Yang quick, big knockout power. He should get it done inside of a round and a half.
Yang quick, big knockout power. You're making it simple like me now. Yang quick.
I said he's got good kicks. I didn't.
I know.
I wasn't Supreme Simplicio. It was just a little Simplicio.
How fast would the episodes be if you were Supremo Simplicio? It would be so fast. We'd have no breakdowns at all. Some people would like that. Some people just want us to list off the wins, but the picks. But hey, we have to have some content here, so we can do ad reads, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we're moving to 146. So featherweight bout. It is another South Korean. Imagine that. Hyuk Min Ji up against Koji Takeda, 146, as I said, 3 5-minute rounds. Takeda is 17-7, 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 7-6 in RIZIN, win over his last 3, 2-4 over his last 6, 4-6 over his last 10. He went 0-1 at Bellator. He is a regional champ, or was a regional champ. He used to fight at 155. Ji, Red Hawk, is the nickname. 4-1 with 4 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds, damn it. This is his debut for RIZIN. He's won 2 straight bouts. He's 10 years younger than Takeda, 2 inches taller. Another squash one here, Gumby.
No, it's interesting. I actually think Takeda will be the favorite. People love his wrestling, and obviously, Hyuk Min Jin is he's only 5 fights into his pro career versus a guy with that kind of pedigree. So I kind of think Takeda is going to be a favorite. Probably not by much. We're talking like negative 135 to like a plus 115 on the other side. But I'm going to go with the Korean fighter again. I'm going to take Hyuk Min Jin. The Korean fighters, by the way, did very well for me on Road to the UFC.
They did.
And we're look at this. We're going to Korea right afterwards. But yeah, the difference maker for me here is if you watch Takeda's last fight, like, yes, he's got the takedowns, or even like go back to his fight with Johnny Case. Because did he beat Johnny Case? I think he beat Johnny Case. And it was like big slam after big slam after big slam, and like not a lot of damage on the ground. Case kept getting up. It was kind of a closer fight than it needed to be if like Takeda just was able to hold this position, but he wasn't. And so like in this fight, Takeda is going to be by far the worst striker. G low hands, but he's low hands to create a lot of power. Also, the low hands might actually help him in digging to block the takedowns. He throws this like jab left hand combo, and the left hand comes pretty straight, and it is very powerful. And so like I've seen him, hurt a lot of people with that. So like the jab left hand here for G, as long as his hands stay low and he can defend the takedown, or if he can get back up, which we've seen him do before. He's been taken down and gotten right back up. As long as he can get up time and time again, he should be able to land more damage on Takeda. This could be a fight where like Takeda like lands 13 takedowns and has 6 minutes of control time and like still loses the fight because he's done no damage. So I like Hyuk Min Jin here. I think the power of him will go a long way. And if we can get him at dog money, I'm definitely in on that one.
All right. We are set. We want some dog money. Of course. Let me talk about Edge Boost before we get to where we place here. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, and 100% approval for all betting deposits. So sign up today at edgeboost.bet with our promo code SGPN. And if you deposit $25, EdgeBoost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And UnderdogFantasy.com. It's time for Gumby's bonus underdog pick and play for us. Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. All right, Gumby, what you got?
So we're going to go to Tuesday because that's when you're getting this episode. No, Monday. Monday, you're getting this episode in your ear. So we're going to go to Monday's MLB slate. I like the higher than on Garrett Crochet's strikeouts. Maybe it's a little bit too simple, but let's face it, the guy racks up a ton of strikeouts. He's got 22 over his last 3 games. He's going to be playing the Brewers. They don't strike out a ton, but I still have faith in him. Give me the higher than on Garrett Crochet's strikeouts.
All right, take that and take our code MMASGPN. And that way, when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, you get to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. So UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. Back to Seoul, South Korea we go for the next bout. I bet there's a Korean in it. I'm just taking a wild guess here. There's going to be a Korean in it. Where is it? Topology. Here it is.
Chul Kim.
Chul Kim. He is from South Korea. Hey, Shoko Sato from Japan. They are fighting out bantamweight 134. Sato Masamitsu is his nickname. 36-16-2 with 1 no contest. 20 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. He is durable. 2-1 RIZIN, 3-1 over his last 4, 4-3 over his last 7. He did win his last bout. He went 4-2 in 1 championship, the biggest promotion in the world. Regional champion. He's fought at 145 and 150. 2008 pro MMA debut. 2 inches height, 4 inches over each advantage over Kim. Kim is 23-8-1 with 1 no contest. 8 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 3 times. 3-1 RIZIN. He's gone 5-1 with 1 no contest over his last 7. Got no contest in his last bout. 2-3 in 1 championship, the biggest promotion in the world. 0-1 in Bellator, RIP. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our gear, get our merch. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. DeGens is your checkout code. He's fought at 145. 2010 pro MMA debut. 1-0-1 as a pro grappler. 4 years younger than Sato.
I think that no contest was against Ji-Young Yang. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was clash of heads like a minute into the fight. Interesting enough. So a couple of guys who we've gotten with no contest recently, and they shared the result. But I'm gonna go with Chul Kim. I think it's probably gonna push negative 300, probably like negative 275 on Chul Kim. Bottom line is like Chul Kim's maybe his weakness is I'm not thrilled about his takedown defense. I think he's shown some, chinks in the armor on that one. But like, I do think the biggest piece here for me is that like Sato is never going to take him down. Sato is just going to throw with him the whole time. And like Sato's good from range. I like the way he looks when he's at kickboxing range and stuff like that. But Chul Kim does a really good job of crowding people too and moving forward and sort of like, it's not quite a blitz, but it's like really good footwork in order to cut you off and like make you fight a little bit more in a phone booth than maybe Sato would want. Sato's going to want to throw from, kickboxing range, and you're going to see Kim throwing from like up close boxing range and dirty boxing range, and even mixing in the, pinning them against the cage and working maybe for a takedown. Because as you said, Kim's got some grappling chops too. He's won by submission. I think he'd prefer to strike, maybe not necessarily in this one. So he's got options too, is the other thing for Kim. So I think Chul Kim, between his ability to push the pace, cut the angles, and maybe he's a touch faster too, that might play in. And then just not having to fear the takedown. So I like Chul Kim in this one. Again, probably negative 300, but it wouldn't hurt to like throw him in a parlay with like Yang or something.
Throw him in a parlay. Excellent. All right. Our co-main event, no Korean fighters in it. Imagine that. It's at 157, so lightweight bout. Juri Ohara from Japan. Johnny Case from the United States of America. We'll tell you about Hollywood Case first. It's 28-10-1. 18 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted 4 times, 4-4 in RIZIN, 1-4 over his last 5, 6-4-1 over his last 11. He did lose his last bout. He has not won since December 2022. He went 4-2 in the UFC, 0-1 in PFL. Regional champion, 2007 pro MMA debut, 5-0 as a pro boxer. Ohara is the Iron Spider, 36-21-2 with 1 no contest. We got a lot of veterans on this card. 19 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted 4 times. 3-1 in RIZIN, 2-1 over his last 3, 3-2 over his last 5, 5-4 over his last 9. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Degens checkout code. Use Fed at 145, 2010 pro MMA debut. A year younger than Case, an inch taller, and he has 3 inches of reach advantage over him.
I'm gonna give maybe the most backhanded compliment to Ohara as I possibly can. You know when announcers are trying to say something really nice about somebody, and then the best thing they can come up with is that he's tough.
Yes.
Ohara's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Which in other words means he takes a beating pretty much every chance he gets. I think Case will be -400. You got the name value there, a guy with tons of success in the UFC. I wouldn't be surprised if it got up to 5 or 6 or something like that. Yeah. But like, you know, I had to familiarize myself with Ohara. I wasn't super familiar with him, so I went back and watched a couple of his fights, and I'm like, why is he getting punched like that? Why doesn't he stop it from happening? And like there's no, it's like there's no defense sometimes. And like, you know, I'm not being, you know, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic here, but like you just keep wondering, like, if he keeps hitting you with that jab, how come your hands aren't up to block the jab? Or if he keeps landing that straight, like, okay, well, why aren't we showing up when he sets up the jab and then comes to the straight? Like, it just seems like all of his opponents are doing things where me, a relative novice when it comes to striking, you know, not to watching striking, but I don't strike at all. I try never to go to kickboxing class or anything like that. I'm like, why isn't he doing those things? Even I see them coming. It's just like, it's poor defense in general, but like, he is tough. He does make you work. And like, he's probably picked up a lot of his wins just by like Homer Simpsoning his opponents, right? Yeah. Like he's wears them down. He's tough. He's good enough in the clinch that like he can make something dirty and tire you out. But like, have we ever really felt like Johnny Case is a guy with bad cardio? You know, I've always kind of thought Johnny Case is like really well-rounded. He's kind of good everywhere, right? Like I think if I had to guess, I think he prefers to kickbox over everything else, but it's not like we've never seen him wrestle. It's not like we don't think he has any jiu-jitsu. He can grapple in the clinch. His kickboxing's pretty good. You know, like I like a lot of things about Johnny Case. Did you say he was 4-2 in the UFC? Was he one of the ones who just left because PFL looked really enticing?
Maybe. I'm not.
I think he might have been one of those guys who like fought his contract out and then
actually no, he lost his last 2 fights, so he may have been caught. UFC is petty like that. He was released after he lost to Anthony Rocco Martin.
Oh, yeah. Wonder what that guy's doing now.
He wasn't doing very good last I heard. That was a few years ago.
I hope he's doing better. But yeah, so anyway, Johnny Case, he's always looked sharp. The 4-2 record in the UFC, shows he can beat high-level opponents, and he's fighting a guy here who's tough. So as long as his cardio holds up the way that we sort of know it always has, he should cruise to he should be able to finish this guy, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a decision.
Now, you say you try not to go to kickboxing classes. Do you sometimes accidentally go to kickboxing classes?
I've rolled up once or twice and messed up the schedule. I don't stay for it. I use the side mat.
Oh, I got you. Okay, good.
And choke people with my legs because that's more fun.
All right. Before we get into more fun with the winning picks, let me tell you about Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and just launched the WNBA. Rhythm knows you'll love it. That's why they include a 7-day free trial. Minnesota Timberwolves, they may be bad again by the time you get this in your ears, but Gumby says check out their projections there. And Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off an annual subscription with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo codes SGPN25 or SGPN50. And you can get a 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpockets.com/rhythm. And Circa is still giving away their ultimate fantasy football giveaway. I said giveaway twice, but that's fine. Circuit Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. The winner will receive a 2-night stay at Circuit Resort and Casino for the entire 12-person league. That includes 6 Double King rooms. They get to hold the draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league, a reservation at the world's largest sportsbook with $500 beverage credit for the league, a 2-hour open bar package for the league at Overhead Bar. So it is on now until the end of June. You can enter by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And finally, but not least, we're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including NBA playoffs. For the true degens, the MyBookie money bag. Check that out. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the, I want to say Al Horford, but no, all the Minnesota Timberwolves prop bets there. And of course, they should have RIZIN. Maybe as we speak, they'll have RIZIN posted. So check all that out. And when you do go to MyBookie.ag, use our promo code MMA SGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. So terms and conditions apply to that. You can check it all out by going to MyBookie.ag and enter in our code MMA SGPN. Back to Korea. We are to our main event. As we mentioned off the top, it is not a title fight for some reason. It is at lightweight 157, 3 5-minute rounds. The champ is Roberto de Souza. Satoshi, he is from Brazil. He's fighting a Korean, Won Bin Ki. Let's tell you about Ki first. He is the danger. Not danger, the danger. 18-9, 12 knockouts, 3 submissions. He has been knocked out 5 times, submitted once. This is his debut in RIZIN. Lost win over his last 4. 5-4 over his last 9. He won his last bout via TKO. That was back in May of 2024. He's not lost since May of 2023. He's a guy when he fights in May, apparently. He went 2-2 on the road to UFC. He has multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch. sportsgamingpodcast.com/store. Degens is your code. He's fight at 145. 2014 Pro MMA debut for Ki. 2 years younger than De Souza. De Souza also goes by Satoshi. 18-3, 6 knockouts, 11 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. 11-1 in RIZIN. He is the current champion at lightweight. He's won 3 straight and 4 of 5. He went 0-2 in Bellator. Used to fight at 170, 2013 Pro MMA debut, and he's a multi-time BJJ world champion.
Yeah, this is such an interesting fight to me. I want to say Satoshi is going to be like a massive favorite here, right? Like -500, one big key. Like you said, 2-2 in road to the UFC. Clearly, the road to the UFC guys are not then getting the same kind of rub as like former Contender Series guys get or stuff, or former UFC guys even. But like, so like I got to imagine Satoshi be a massive favorite, especially as the champ. But I got to say, if this comes in at -500, I'm going to pick Satoshi. I'm going to pick De Souza. But I'm going to say avoid that number in parlays and avoid that number on the straight up. Because, like, I think One Big Key has more of a chance than people are giving him. Like, on one hand, yeah, like, if he hits the ground with De Souza, like, it's over, right? De Souza is so good on the ground.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even really matter the position he winds up on the ground. He's on top, doesn't matter. He's in danger. He's on bottom. He's in even more danger.
What if he's in top turtle?
Gotta get submitted. Yeah. Yeah. Like, in like, Satoshi just does everything he needs to in all of those positions. I mean, like his jiu-jitsu from every angle is sharp, dangerous, and sometimes like kind of surprising. Like it comes, it's an arm bar that you don't see coming on it in the position he's in. So like he's so good at jiu-jitsu. I just think if One Big Key winds up on the ground once, he's going to lose, which is why I'm picking De Souza regardless. But with that being said, One Big Key, first of all, he's very physically strong. I've not seen him have to defend too many takedowns. So like, could he be good enough to stuff Satoshi? Like, that's not something you want to find out when Satoshi is on your last leg of a parlay and like, only change the number by like 30, so like, don't squeeze him in parlays for that. And like on the feet, obviously One Big Key is better. Satoshi has been sort of rounding out his game. He looks a little bit better on the feet in his last few fights, but like, even looking better, it does not mean that he looks good, right? So like One Big Key's faster. He does have a little bit of knockout power. He actually has a lot of knockout power as he's moving backwards. I don't see Satoshi backing him up, but like he's got a lot of knockout power from different angles and ranges and stuff like that. So I'd worry about that for Satoshi holding a massive ticket on him, but I think he does find at least one takedown or one way to get him to the mat and picks up a submission here. So officially I'm going Roberto de Souza, but I'm telling you, stay away from those negative 500, 600 lines if that's where it comes in.
Yep. All right. To give you a recap, but we got more plays for you, so don't you go anywhere yet. He has got de Souza. He has got Case. He has got Kim. He has got G. He has got Yang. All right. Lightning rounds. That Ben Moon Pow. What do you got?
So I got another couple for you. The first one I'm going to go with is Yuri Shim. She's a fighter out of South Korea as well. She actually knocked out Ming Shi, who's now in the UFC. She knocked her out with knees to the body, and then I think she landed one to the head in there too. She's kind of a fun clinch striker. They seem to, as I said, be lining up these South Korean fighters for maybe some easier fights. She's fighting a 6-7 fighter out of Brazil, if I'm remembering correctly. So, like, you know, she's got a pretty easy one. And like I said, she's got good finishing power for her size. And then another one I'm going to take is I'm actually going to go away from the South Korean fighters. I'm going to take Sho Patrick Usami. Sho Patrick Usami, former boxer, turned MMA fighter. He's got really, really nice KO power. He's kind of had rough luck in some of his decisions, so his record doesn't look as good as it could. Like, I think he's 7-4. But like with some fights that it looked like he was doing really well and then dropped them, you know, based on, you know, getting caught, hard luck, you know, somebody going to his grappling more than you'd expect. But he knocked out Noah Bay, who's kind of like a fun kickboxing prospect too, which just shows you that like he can go in there with like good strikers and knock him out. So I like Sho Patrick Usami as well as Yuri Shim.
You're still Korean Gumby, regardless. Even if you picked against a couple of Koreans, you're still Korean Gumby. Koreans have been good to you.
Yeah.
So it's good. Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the three name fighters. Maybe that's why I'm going with Sho Patrick Usami, because we got Dam Marfam in there too. Right. Along with Sim Kai Xiong, who was from Singapore.
Maybe that can be your new gambling strategy. You can make up a whole
three name Daniel Gumby Freeland.
Exactly. All right, you are all set for RIZIN in Korea. Three words there as well. We'll talk more about it, obviously, if you like, in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You can hit us up in the comments on the old Twitter. Actually, not on Twitter, in the old YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. If you could subscribe, if you haven't already, that would be great. Subscribe from all your fake accounts as well. SGPN MMA is the handle on Twitter. He is at Gumby Freeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same as on Instagram for me. You can check out my Substack. Enter my UFC Pick'em contest at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby's got a show called Top Turtle. I can just say Top Turtle out of the blue there for no reason. Tell the people who is on your other show this week. Yeah,
we got Billy Goff and Markel Medeiros, who are both fighting in the Apex this weekend.
Yeah, oh boy, yes, we have an Apex event. Hooray. So check it all out, Top Turtle. We're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. DeGens is your checkout code, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get some bonus content. And remember, your codes for mybookie.ag and for Underdog Fantasy is MMA SGPN. Now you're set. Gumby will bid you farewell.
All right, I'm Dana Gumby Freeland. He is the Iron Spider, Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.